Today's episode is sponsored by Dice Roll UK. You can never have enough dice. Whether you're looking for shiny click-clacks that make your inner goblin smile, or metallic math rocks that would make a dwarf proud, Dice Roll UK has just what you're looking for. From resin and acrylic to metal and gemstone sets, they are sure to have something you'll absolutely love. Keeping those polyhedral pretties in tip-top shape is important too, so be sure to check out their dice bags and trays. They even have rolling towers and other accessories to complete your tabletop. Shopping small comes with all sorts of benefits. Carl and crew lovingly pack your goodies and ship them promptly, so you can roll your crits and take down your enemies quicker than you can say icosahedron. That's a fancy word for that 20-sided shape. Cruise on over to diceroll.uk and feast your eyes upon the dragon's hoard of dice they have to offer. And if you use the code WICKED, you'll even get a discount. That's WICKED. And now, let's roll.
This is a Wicked Cool Kids production. Hi there, all you wicked cool kids, and thanks for joining us. I am Joe, and I'm very excited to have with me 4 friends this time instead of 3. I have got the usual Lee, Jason, and Kristen, and a very special guest, Anna. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So, we've started this new format. It's going well. We're enjoying it. Just having little chats, which means we're covering more than just tabletop gaming, more than just D&D, anything that our community is interested in and is doing at the time we chat about. So if there's anything you would like us to discuss, let us know in the comments below, or talk to us directly. Come on Discord and have a chat with us. What did we chat about last week? We chatted about, Kristen and I had done this walking challenge. If anyone wants to join us with one of those, we're definitely going to do another one. And I think the last thing we picked off was what games and movies did we want to see turned into films or vice versa.
And literally, last night, Jason sent me like a TikTok about all of these different games that had turned into movies and series, and I was like, that would have been helpful.
I was like, now's the time.
That was fate.
We're setting
Apparently,
trends,
it's more
guys.
than just
Already
us
setting
talking
trends.
about it.
Yeah.
Trendsetters, you know. You heard it first.
People just want to be us. I don't blame them. We're pretty awesome. But I had a question that was vaguely similar to films that, or like games that you like to turn into TV shows. Is what films or games would you like to be turned into a tabletop RPG using a similar system to 5e? So we know we got Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a recent one, which was one I've always wanted to be a tabletop role-playing game, because kind of D&D touches upon some of the elemental spells, but being set in that world of Aang or Korra is just awesome to me, and I want to experience that. But is there any games or TV shows that you'd be like, that would be a boss tabletop role-playing game to run through?
Yes.
But well, you can start us off then, Kristen. What?
So for a couple years, and I had heard that there were some independent people working on one, and I just have never found it. But my kids watch Gravity Falls, and I don't know if any of you know Gravity Falls, but it's a fantastic show, and I think that it would make for fantastic D&D style adventures. Do any of you know Gravity Falls?
I've seen clippets of Gravity Falls, like some
here.
of the meme kind of scenes.
I mean, they even reference Dungeons and Dragons in there. They call it Dungeons, and More Dungeons. But yeah, it's the premise is these kids go to their uncle's, and he owns this mystery shack. And the mystery shack is a place where they've got a bunch of like fake things, right? Like this is a ghoul's hand, but it's not really a ghoul's hand. But it turns out that this whole town is steeped in mystery, and they go and there's a journal and they have to find out what's going on. And as an adult, I think the show is great. I recommend it to anyone. It's on Disney Plus. But yeah, I think maybe we should have a viewing party of a couple of the episodes, because I do
second
think that.
I went through an obsessive phase of watching it religiously, and definitely it's worth getting together and doing that.
It's great.
It's got what's her name? Kristen Schaal in it, right?
Yep.
As the daughter.
And oh God, what's his name? his dad was Jack on Three's Company. Jason Ritter, is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's in it too. And it's just I just yeah. Mabel, Mabel. They're twins. The kids are twins. It's a boy and girl set of twins, and they just get up to really fantastic things. And yeah, anyway, if you haven't seen it, see it, and then agree with me on that it should be D&D style adventures. And then if somebody is smart enough, also ambitious enough, go ahead and make it and let me know so I can play it.
Yeah, so a couple of the other sort of games that have been turned into a tabletop game. We have Stardew Valley is a game, which you can get as a board game and play that. And I think it's kind of a collection of points and tabletop game, less of a role playing one, which I thought was pretty interesting. And like Dark Souls also have a tabletop game as well. But Joe, Anna, Lee, you guys got any kind of
Oh, I got
TV
one.
film
It's
shows?
yeah. Well, it's not much TV or film. It's a book. I would really like to see the Demon Cycle series turned into a tabletop RPG. It's such a good set of books. It's about the world's gone to absolute mess, and every time the sun sets, these demons rise from the core to terrorize. Um, the way to fight them has been forgotten and lost. So, the, unless you're extremely lucky, you can't really kill them. And the only means of defense are putting wards around the major cities, but not everybody can do them perfect. So if you don't have wards, you basically are just living in constant fear. And I think that would be interesting to see a game set like that where you're not a superhero or anything like that. You're just a person who might be able to put a couple of wards down to protect you. I won't give too much spoilers about the books in case anybody picks them up, but they do find somewhere where they can eventually start to combat them. So you have all different types of demons as well. So forest demons, little fire demons, and it all depends. Rock demons, stone demons, all depends on like what element they come from. Further away, they have like these water creatures and stuff, and it's just so good. And I would really like to see this. Even if that was made into a TV series, I think it'd be freaking cool. But it's just something I think would be nice to like play. Really gritty. I think Tom would probably like it if it was an RPG.
The Tall Tom.
Yeah,
We'll
the
have to
very
ask him
one.
if he the one and only. We'll have to ask him if he knows of the book series.
Yeah, I don't think many people know of it. I was recommended it by my uncle. It's by Peter V. Brett. I think there's about 5 books in the series called the Demon Cycle, and it's such a good read. It's probably one of the very few books I've actually picked up and read because I don't like
See, as soon as you were talking about books, I thought you were going to name that other book series that you're obsessed with.
Which one?
Painted Man?
Yeah, that's it. The
Oh,
Painted Man.
that's it. That's it.
He's
I
that's
I
the
didn't
I
realize
think
that
that's
was
the
the name of
first.
the series.
Yeah, the collection. So the first one in the series is the Painted Man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Anna's heard of it.
It's
You
that
do
good
love
that
that.
you used to play it overnight for the dog to sleep to.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed that book multiple occasions. So yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Joe, you got any?
I mean, I said last episode we were talking about the material that's already got massive lore built in, and I was saying I'm a massive Terry Pratchett fanboy, and they've already done book to film and book to TV show adaptations, and there's actually a couple of computer games already. There's a Discworld Noir like detective click and type adventure game, and that's all really cool. And there is actually a board game as well that I own. It's a brilliant game, but no one will play it with me. But I would love actually the idea of doing like a D&D like campaign or one shot in the Discworld. Really appeals to me because there is enough material there that I could probably actually do that at some point. It never occurred to me. And I know all of the characters inside and out as well, all of the actual characters from the books. So that would be a really, really cool, I think, to delve into. because it's also a world of pretty much anything can happen. Because he very
Yeah.
openly kind of says, magic, whatever.
Yeah, that
Like,
Terry
stuff's
Pratchett one
weird.
that I was listening to that you sent me on the in the audio book was
Mhm.
awesome. I really liked it. Really enjoyed it. It's a great story of what's the little girl's name who becomes a witch?
Which one was it that I sent you? Was it Equal Rights?
Equal rights, yeah.
Which might have been Esme, I
Esther.
think.
Esther.
Oh,
I
Esme
think
Esther.
it
is
was.
Granny's real name.
That's the one. Yeah, it's been a while since I've read the Witches series. But yeah, it's very cool. It's a very very built out world, very big, and the idea of running something in that would be. Oh, I might have to do it now.
What about you, Anna? Any TV shows that where you're like, I'd be cool to be in that world?
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but for one of Lee's birthdays, I tried to run the Rick and Morty module,
Yeah.
and we didn't get very far into that. I can't remember.
Because you killed him.
You did.
Yeah, that would be why. Yeah.
It's one way to finish the game.
Yeah, yeah, I did not really enjoy DMing. Too many components going on. But that was like reading through the module. It looked like a really fun module. And a lot of I think the role playing would be a lot of fun with that, with sort of all
Pretty
the
chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love her.
yeah.
Is it Summer? The sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's my favorite. She's just a sassy bitch. She takes no
Yeah.
shit. And it's amazing. There's a few like I was thinking of the Avatar. I was like, what are the other shows that I watched as a kid that would be fucking awesome to play in? And I was thinking Codename Kids Next Door. If there's a system for that, amazing. It's just like a bunch of kids living in a treehouse going on secret missions, which is kind of like it's just like kids' imagination, but then the cartoon is like that brings their imagination to life, kind of deal. And there's another one by Warner Bros. Kids called Shaolin Showdown, which is a bunch of kind of martial art thing, but one of them is like a big guy, like kind of the tank of the group with like a cowboy hat and things like that. And then there's the typical kind of martial arts one, and then they've all got like these different specialities in it, which is another great kind of kids show, along with like Avatar and other ones. The Jackie Chan cartoon series as well, where they had to collect all the like the rune stones, was another great one. I think is
Oh yeah. I really enjoyed that one. Because they had a few. They had the one where they went for the talismans, and then they had the one where they went for hunting down the masks as well. Yeah, they were great then.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and I feel like having some kind of system to play them would be awesome. Which I think you could do with a 5e system, and mix it around a bit and get it done, and set some hard limitations on stuff probably. But I feel like the story core of those kind of shows were pretty awesome, pretty fun, light-hearted games, which would be awesome as kind of tabletop role playing game. But cool, thanks for your insights on that, guys.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the sort of thing actually I can imagine running it in person very easily as well, because I've got so much source material that I could pull on. I actually started running a D&D game in person last week with a school friend kid's school friend. My kid's school friend's parents. There you go. There's a spurious connection for you. Yeah.
Nope, that's not right. Nope, that's not right.
Say that 3
That's
times
not
fast.
right.
Go.
I mean, I don't know why I'm saying like that, because right at this point, they're my friends. I could just say with a friend, but for some reason I have to explain where the friends came from.
With some people.
Yeah, some people that I know. I know people, I swear. They're not all imaginary girls. They kind of bribed me to come and start teaching them how to play D&D, as if I needed convincing. I just didn't have the time. So they were like, hey, come over for a barbecue and we will cook for you and ply you with food and drinks, and the kids can all play together and we can just play a session. And it went very quickly from, let's do that, to let's run a campaign.
And now you're the forever DM.
Now I'm the forever DM, which is fine, because Kristen was sort of telling me off in the concerned mum way that she does, because I have multiple times said I don't have enough time to do the games that I'm already playing, and life gets in the way of the games that I'm already playing enough as it is. But I found that because these guys are a literal walk away, and we've got kids the same age, the way they did it with like 2 days notice, I just walked over and took some material I already had and ran it, and they were like, "Oh, cool! Next time we can do this, that would be great." There's no like, "Oh, we're going to do this every Friday for the foreseeable" or anything, and they're very realistic about the expectations. They're not like worried if we don't play for a month, which I think was one of my biggest fears starting up games, was like the pressure of having to keep the momentum. And so it'll be interesting long term to see, because we probably will only play very sporadically. It'll be interesting to see
you
how
have
the
to
momentum
treat
keeps
it like
up.
a film series, kind of like the Lord of the Rings or something, where you just like, oh, last chapter we did this.
I was
and
just going to say, I hope you got a good note taker.
Yeah.
Nope. In fact, about an hour in, I had given them dice and dice mats and basic instructions, and I put the map out on the table, and I gave them a notepad and a pen each. And about an hour, maybe even an hour and a half into the game, one of them said, should we be writing any of this information down? Because they'd gone
only if
around
you
the
want to
town.
remember it.
No, they'd gone around the town, got a load of information, left the town, came back to the town, and was like, "Who was it that we were talking to? What's their name? Where were they? What did they?" And then they got to that person. Well, what was it that they said last time? And I was like, "Well, I'm not repeating it, because the person wouldn't. They'd be just like, what are you talking about?" So yeah, they
Womp womp.
did not have a good note taker last time, but hopefully one of them is a good note taker in general life. So hopefully they'll be great. But yeah, it was interesting actually, because one of them, of the people that are playing, there's 3 of them. One of them has been into war games and Games Workshop stuff, Games Workshop and Warhammer for a long time, and has wanted to try D&D but never had the opportunity. His partner plays World of Warcraft with him because very early on in their relationship, like a decade ago, she realized it was either do that or spend less time with him. So she's been playing World of Warcraft for over a decade just because of that, and she was really, really keen to play. And then my partner was sort of dragged along for the ride. Has no interest in tabletop gaming and had no interest in really playing this weekend, but really threw herself into it. It was a bit of a surprise. And now she's the one instigating the next session as well, saying, "Oh, we're free on the 28th. Can you do that day too?" So
She's trapped now, mate.
yeah,
Trapped.
it'll be a very interesting dynamic.
That's why I got into. I'll just come over for ours for a weekend. I got a friend who wants to play D&D. I was like, yeah, I'll try it. I've heard it. Fucking 6 years later,
Can't get enough of it now.
like playing 3 to 4 games a week.
Yeah.
But that's how you got dropped into it, really, wasn't it, Anna? With because you've come from a pretty much zero gaming background with everything. I think your gaming
My
was
gaming.
the Wii.
Yeah.
Was the Wii, and that was about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
and then met me, and then I sort of, I
me
guess,
into
just
it.
through, yeah.
Hi,
been
I guess it's
cheaper
time
to do
to
drugs,
properly introduce Anna. Anna
Is my wife. Very nice.
Yeah, we still have to give her weekly payments to stay with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you came
Yes.
from zero background, didn't you? And
Yeah. And then you
Have-
threw me into it with, I think our first game that we played together was Portal,
yeah, it was.
Oh,
and
great,
that was
great
an
multiplayer
absolute
game.
nightmare.
That's when I knew I wanted to marry her. When we finished that and we survived, we were still on talking terms after a day. You know, like, we had to take a break for a day just to get our heads around each other. But
Yeah, after the 27 arguments about how to do something in Portal.
Yeah.
Shoot this
Yeah.
place. No,
Yeah.
wrong place.
Well, I mean, you've seen it firsthand, Jason, when we played It Takes Two, and
yeah.
No, that wasn't my fault. That was because I was. It
It's
was like
6
glitchy.
hours trying to jump over a little gap. Didn't know you could double
No.
jump.
It was because it was glitchy because my laptop isn't fast enough for it.
Okay.
And then what was it when you
I just streamed it onto the TV for you and played.
and I was fine.
Yeah.
As a pro then. Absolute pro.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
had been playing
playing
for
with
like
tech.
20 hours, so
Oh, what was the other one recently? Pico Party?
yeah,
Oh,
everyone's experienced you on that
Yep.
with your playing Tetris in it.
Oh my god, yeah.
I feel like
I mean,
that's a
I
game
enjoy
that lends
playing.
itself to being bad at the game.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the entertainment is just other people being terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And then it'd be like, oh, they finally got past this point, and then me and Lee will fucking die instantly. And be like, fuck it, back to the beginning again. Because we've been doing it so many times perfectly, we stop thinking about it by the time you guys get onto it.
We've been
And then
doing
just
it so
die.
many times perfectly.
Yeah.
I
good,
can't
innit?
help it. I'm just better at games.
Okay, well,
1v1.
There's one game that I could never finish. It was the Legend of Zelda one. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time, where you got
On the
well,
GameCube.
I think a lot of people gave up on at this point when they got to the water temple, and you
Yeah,
were just
I
like,
was just so
I
frustrated.
gave up way before that. I played one Zelda game. It was Ocarina of Time, and I got like second mission. I was like, yeah, it's not for me. Never touched it again.
oh, you hurt me at my heart.
It's just not my Zelda's just
I
not my
have
type of game.
never, ever played Zelda, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when I was young, my parents had the original Zelda on the original Nintendo, and that's what they did as a couple. And the kids would go to bed, and we'd hear it. We were never allowed to touch it. We were never allowed to play it, and it was always like after we went to bed, so it's not even like we could watch it. And I think I've just always it's still remained off limits to me.
You're like, I'm not allowed to play this game.
I'm not allowed to play it. And like my oldest
If I play it, I'll
has
get
a
shouted
couple
at.
of them, and his best friend is obsessed with it. And I often think, actually, I have now, thanks to Joe, access to be able to play the original one through my Switch. And I looked at it and I hovered over it and I went, I can't. I'm not. I'm not
No,
allowed to do this.
all the anxiety just straight back.
Yeah.
I'm doing something
I
wrong.
mean, maybe. I don't know. It makes me nervous. Like it was so intense, right? So it's a one-player game, but they would play it together. My mom would basically be like the navigator, and I remember them having these like magazine type books with
The
cheat codes and
guides-
like you go
guides
around this place
books,
and find
yeah.
this thing and yeah. So she would be the. I mean, she might have even been the friggin' note taker. That might be where everything now it comes full circle. I don't know, but yeah, I've never played it, so.
I've been giving my oldest kid access to some of those old games. He frustrates me when he plays on things like the Switch because I'll say, "Hey, could you just pause that and listen to me for a second?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, I just need to finish." And my excuse as growing up was always that I need to finish what I'm doing because in so many games on the old Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, depending on where you're from, and the original NES, there wasn't any before that. Let's not even talk about pauses and saves.
You're already going above my head, mate. I have no idea. What
but those consoles, none of them really had a save function. Even with the Mega Drive had cartridges that could, in theory, have saved stuff, but they didn't originally. You used codes to go back to where you're from. So you finish a level, and then it would give you the code.
You have to write it down
for the next
you
level.
lost
And
if
you
you
lost
lost
and if you lost it, that was it.
Yeah.
And if you had to stop playing halfway through the level, tough tits. You got to start from the beginning of the level because you didn't reach the end to get the
No
code.
checkpoints.
And
there wasn't enough memory in the cards, was there?
No.
To do,
And in some of the games that I played, there was no pause function either. Like if you pressed pause, all it did was bring menus up, but the game itself would still be running in the background. So you couldn't like pause it and go to the toilet because you would die while you were in the toilet. So you just had to.
Shake
and
yourself.
my son just does not understand this because
I mean, it's the same with TV though, right? Like TV movies, you don't understand what it's like to, if you missed the first 15 minutes of this episode, you would have to wait until the whole season aired and then reruns occurred because you couldn't just rewind TV. You couldn't just rewatch the episode.
Why don't you just
Or
pick
even
the
like,
episode
again, you
Why don't
needed
just go
a toilet.
online and just pick the episode? You're going to list the seasons.
Yeah, that's the way that works.
And even again, like you just miss a critical moment because you'd like someone called you and you had to respond because it's another. He doesn't understand. He can literally press the power button on the Switch and it just goes to sleep like instantly. And he can press the power button again and it wakes up exactly where he left off hours later. And I just. He was doing that with the old games, and I was saying to him, "Well, these are, when I grew up, these were really tough to get to the end." And he came up to me the other day and was like, "Well, wasn't that hard, Dad. It was pretty easy. It was like,
You don't
how
even
did you
know.
get to the end? And he was like, oh, I don't know. And then I watched him play, and he'd been obviously he'd realised how difficult it was in the first kind of minute of playing, and
Mhm.
just took maximum advantage of the fact that you can use
Save.
save points in the Switch. So we'd just like try and do the jump, would die, go back to the save point, do the jump, die, and we'd just like get through the game that way. So,
We didn't get that, did we? We had to go all the way back, maybe like 10, 15 minutes to get to that one point to die at that
Yep.
One
specific
point
point
again.
again.
welcome to the
Infuriating.
new.
And that's why I gave up.
That's
on it.
probably why I didn't start playing games so very late.
Yeah.
I started when
so-
like online game was like the main, so it was like Call of Duty when that first got big. That was what kind of drew me in, and Gears of War online. So I never had that experience of the games prior to those Call of Duty Gears of War time. So I always had that save pause button available. If I had started gaming soon, I'd probably be well stressed. I probably would just never gone back to gaming again.
It was though. So the other day while we were exploring the games that were in the catalog for the original Nintendo, I was at first perseverating on finding Dr. Mario, right? Do, 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 do. And if you don't
Mhm.
know it, it's kind of like Tetris, and it's really weird because they're pills and you have to match up the colors of the pills. And I really liked that game. Obviously, I think I also liked the music. I'm not quite sure if it's the music that I
Is it
liked better
8-bit
than
music?
the game. Yeah. But now we know where my oldest gets it from, right? But anyway, so then I was like, I remember this game called Lolo. And Lolo is this like little blue circular thing that has to go save a princess, and she is a pink circular round blob thing. Anyway, there are these different levels, and they're all puzzles in the rooms that you have to solve to be able to go through. And there was a code at the end, so I was geeking out because I found it and I played it. And the kids were like, "What is that code?" I was like, "Oh, you have to write that down to come back to this level," because I let them play it and then they died and they went back to level 1. They're like, "What?" I said, "That's what that code is for. That code is so you can go back to that ultimate level that you achieved. If not, you have to start all the way back at level 1. You have to walk through the doors of the dungeon again." It was really eye-opening for them too.
Mhm. Welcome to the new episode of our podcast, When I Were a Lad.
Back in the
We're now
day.
it's glad.
You gotta do a Sean
You
Bean accent.
youngsters
don't
don't
you?
know how good you've got it.
Well, I mean, so for Christmas, my grandfather, when we would go and visit him, he would have the original Nintendo, and we would play all these old games there. And I fell in love with Final Fantasy there,
Mhm.
and for years had been trying to, like, after that had been trying to rebuy a Final Fantasy that would give me the experience that was that, and it is not. It is so far removed from what it was in its first iteration. And I was so happy that I think I found it on Steam and I got it for him, and I was like, even if he doesn't play it, I will break into his account and I will start playing it again because I loved it so much, and my parents were not into that. So they didn't have it, and I would only be able to play it when we went on vacation and went to his house. So I have a lot of nostalgia for those old games when I were
Are you talking about the very original Final Fantasy, by the
the
way?
very original.
Oh my word!
Very original.
I mean, I'm here for it, but yeah,
Mhm.
that is going back some.
I don't even know
Damn,
what
you
that
guys
was.
are
Little
old.
bit.
I mean,
You know
by
what?
the way, if anyone hasn't
not
seen the
wrong,
Four
but ouch.
Yorkshiremen sketch, then they need to see it. There's a Monty Python sketch all about essentially When I Were a Lad, and it's chef's kiss. It is excellent. If you haven't seen it,
You tried to get some nostalgia back from your Wii days, didn't you, Anna? When we bought is it Crash Team Racing?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just wasn't the same for you, was it?
No, definitely not. I couldn't figure out what it was, why it wasn't the same. I think when I used to play with it, it would be me and my two best friends, and we'd always make up these songs about the little, I don't know what they call them, like special powers
Traits.
you can put on other people, and I think that just made it for me. Just those memories you
Yeah,
can't
I feel like a lot of the games that are memorable is because you did them with friends.
yeah.
and that's what made it special rather than the game itself. Especially as you get into more multiplayer type, or like only one person, else your friend group had the console or a
Yeah,
computer, so you
yeah,
had to
that
all
was
go
it.
around
Yeah,
and all had the one screen. And then you sort of had like Pokemon on the old Game Boys, and you had to trade, and then sometimes you had a wire, and then they came out of like infrared, and then you had to hold them like opposite each other so they could beam the thing across. Uh,
It
which
was
I think is part of that experience that made games kind of special.
yeah,
back
it was
when
a very sad
90s.
day for me when I realised that the most fun thing about worms was naming the worms and then laughing with your friends about the names that you'd given the worms.
And
Yeah.
blowing
game
your friends'
itself-
worms up.
Yeah, and then blowing those ones up.
I blew up Willy.
It's always Willy. It's always Willy. It's always Dave. Dave.
It's always a Willy
Unless
worm.
it's a worm.
Yeah.
Then it's
Has
a
to
Willy
be.
worm.
It definitely was.
It's a mess.
Or you just put like your mum. Or your
Your
ma,
mu-
if you're from
Yeah.
That's
Liverpool.
what I do. Yeah, mama.
Your ma. I blew up your mum.
Yeah, well, aren't we all? I have missed a bunch of games in the last couple of weeks because Easter happened, and then real life has also, for one reason or another, really irritatingly happened. But how are all of your campaigns going at the moment? Or one shots if you're doing anything else?
Good. I think we finally got started on the Sunday game.
We did.
Yeah, I
Was
had the
it-
pleasure
was it
of
last-
guests sitting in on that. It was really interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I'm
really
excited for you
gonna-
guys to go forward.
I want him to stay. I really enjoyed that character.
yeah.
you
I
made.
said
He
to
is-
you afterwards that that character was really
I
good.
can't do another one. Maybe
No,
I'll
I
guest
know,
in
I know.
sometimes, but if I've got the day free. But yeah, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to.
No,
like to
fully
not do
understand.
stuff on a Sunday.
It's he was just
It's
well
not
put
every
together.
Sunday.
It's not
Yeah,
every
it's only
Sunday.
every other
Yeah,
Sunday.
it's
Well,
not Sunday.
not even every
creeping
other
back
Sunday.
into every
Sometimes.
Sunday. like.
I am super excited about the dynamics in that party because in a turn of events, Anna is the bitch.
Oh,
And
she
I
was
can
so
reprieve,
sassy.
and I'm just here trying to be nice and trying to be helpful to everybody, and she is so terrible. And turnabout's fair play, right? Like I definitely deserve it for the past couple of characters that I've had. But I can't wait for so for context, my character is the twin of the character I played in the last version of this. So they look identical except for their eye colors are different, but their personalities are completely polar opposite. And even what they do, one's a necromancer and one's a life cleric. So there's but it's really, I think, going to be fun when people think that they recognize me and treat me a certain way, and then I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa! It's not. No, it's just me.
I'm not the one who broke your kneecaps. That was my sister.
I'm
I
not the
promise.
one that just kept telling you were going to die every day, and you're like 22. You're dying.
I
Um,
remember looking over your notes, Anna, when I was moving stuff for you off the table, and it said something like, "Was it sassy and a bit of a bitch or something like
No,
that?"
it
Or
didn't say
sassy and
that.
aggressive or something.
said
Saucy
because-
bitch, I said.
Yeah,
the title.
saucy bitch.
No, because I play Harv, which is an Eladrin bard, and she's in her summer phase at the moment. And so I was trying to remember what personality is generally with summer, and so I wrote down
She's a
summer.
beach
Yeah, summer. Was it like aggressive and bold? And it was just like in bold caps, like all like lines all
Nice.
around it, so I could like just glance at it quickly to remember to be basically a bitch.
Yeah, my Warforged, the Guardian, he was basically, you guys seen Robots, the animated film?
Yeah.
So the kind of the spindly robot friend dude who's not the main character but takes him back to the like where all the broken robots are. That's kind of
Yeah.
loosely who I based the Guardian off. He's just like kind of a friendly idiot who thinks he knows what he's doing. He really doesn't know what he's doing.
He was
Uh,
great.
Yeah,
He was good fun.
I enjoyed him as a character. I don't think I could do a whole campaign like that, though. He's way too positive for me.
My saving grace with my character, because I really struggled that last session, as I think I kept messaging Lee like, am I being too like cutting people off? Am I being too short? Am I being this? Am I being that? And I was like, at least when I change seasons, I don't always have to be a bitch.
You know what
I'm not
though?
bad.
I was saying, I think I was saying to Lee, but I was also saying to Chet that I'm very excited to see you do this because it's not you as a person, and I think it's going to be a great exercise for you. And I know that you're quieter, you're more reserved, you are a little reticent to really kind of jump in role play wise, and I feel like you have just completely immersed yourself in Half, and she is delightfully terrible. And I think that it's gonna be really great for you to put on that hat. Just like I think it was really great for your husband to put on that hat for a little bit, right? And then he found some confidence himself and took that into real life. I loved watching you do it, and I know that it can be a little nerve-wracking, right? Do these people really kind of think that are they going to take it seriously? But it's do it. Nobody's going to walk away going, "Oh my God, Anna's a bitch." Everybody knows you're not.
Anna, you did it really well because even though you were short and straightforward, it wasn't like, oh, I don't want to go there, I'm not doing this. It wasn't like a bratty kind of thing where it derails the party. It was always, you're always in the same direction as the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And just a little bit more forward with it, which is great. Like, it's the correct way to play like a bitchy character.
Yeah.
I'm not going to completely derail. I'm not going to refuse to do stuff in order to help the party. I'm just going to like be a knobhead and still go along.
Yeah.
With
That's
the
what I
motion.
was trying to be aware of, was make sure that my character didn't I didn't want to completely separate her as well, because obviously she's not always in that season, and I didn't want to separate her so much that she couldn't make relationships with other people as well. But I don't know why, but I find playing that sort of personality easier than trying to be somebody nice. Like in the last campaign, Aoife, she was a druid and she was quite I think she was
Nature
quite...
slut.
Nature slut.
Okay.
I mean, that's not how I don't think anybody
way
else
to
would
put
have
it.
described her. But okay.
Yeah, she was a very stereotypical druid, very down with nature, and very kind.
Not
and
in that
considerate.
way, Lee. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Going down on nature.
Yeah.
You heard it there.
No.
But I really struggled to roleplay with her. I think because there was a bit of me in her, I was so paranoid about what people thought about the character and things. Whereas with Harv, I know I can act like Harv sometimes, but not all the time.
Spicy. I'm also wondering, particularly for you, so for anybody listening, Anna and Lee have a fairly fresh baby. And
Fresh
so,
baby. You order it at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freshly baked.
That's where they all
but-
come from.
Freshest babies, please.
But you started out pregnant,
Mhm.
right? And then you had the baby and
Mhm.
took some time off, and then you came back. So there was a whole lot of other stuff happening in the background that I wonder if that also made it a little more challenging for you to really kind of step into her shoes. And then as you're transitioning from just Anna as a person to Anna, now the mother and the caretaker, you're going through a transition. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
100%. Yeah, because I do feel like since we've had Leo, that I am more assertive, and
Mhm.
I am more. Well, I feel like because we've had to be with certain
yeah.
aspects of Leo, we've had to be assertive, and we've had to be sort of oh God, what do they call it?
More
An
like
advocate.
confidence and
Mhm.
advocate
Yeah.
for the child.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who's also had a baby recently, going to his wedding this weekend coming up. He said, once I've had a kid, I just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah,
Like my
basically,
life's
yeah.
not my own. I'm only doing things for my kid now, so I just don't give a shit about other people's opinions. They just don't
Yeah.
matter to me. Because I've literally got a kid that I need to bring up in this world, in this reality, that I just don't like. Other people's opinions are just reflect off me. I don't care about it anymore, and I feel like
Yeah.
it's a large step for a lot of people to get to that point in life. And having a kid sometimes just knocks you into that, where
Yeah.
you can't be assertive, because who gives a fuck what the fella in the breakery is saying when you've literally got a kid
Yeah.
at home that you're trying to raise. So
Yeah.
I feel like that attitude goes either one way or the other. in a huge effect when you have a kid. Like there's either you feel enormous weight and pressure and feel constantly judged and you care more than you ever have about how everyone else thinks, or you don't have the energy to have that attitude and you just stop like you
That's
say, just
literally,
stop caring
I
about it.
just didn't have the energy. Well, I don't
It's
have the
my-
energy to care about
Yeah.
what other people think anymore.
It's one of my sort of pieces of advice, as much as for whatever my advice is worth to people, is one of the things I say to people who've had babies is just try not to like think about what other people say, and the people that take that to heart or that embrace that for themselves seem to have a much happier time in general, and I think it's helpful that you can pass it on from a game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
definitely.
great place, as we were saying a couple episodes back, maybe more than a couple. One of our first episodes, expressing yourself in D&D. And how you can develop yourself as a person in the game, and it's a trial and error kind of system where what you actually do in the game doesn't really impact your reality on the outside, but gives you a chance to limit test some of the possibilities with your own personality and see how it goes.
I just realized I completely forgot to think about. I don't even think we wrote it down. Whatever your description of the monster was.
I've got
I know that. I mean, we kind of high welcome to my brain. I jumped somewhere else, but I looked up and I saw something, and then I went, "Oh my god, he's gonna ask the question." I don't even. I was
That's
so.
question.
It's okay. I sent you the description.
Well, I can read it out now.
You
and
sent me the
you can
description?
send me your.
No,
you
we
can
have to.
let
We
me
have
know
to
your
pretend
guesses.
like I didn't say any of that, so I can
No,
look at
keep
it
it
real
in, Joe.
quickly.
Keep it in. I'm going to read it out
Oh.
as you're looking at it. And okay, we need a little jingle for this. Be like, monster highlight of the week.
Guess
You write it,
that
I'll record it, we'll put it
monster.
Yeah, we'll sort something out.
Okay, so last episode's description was, this monster's body is covered in a thick and lumpy armor. Its long
Me.
tail ends in a bony protrusion, and two feathery antennae sprout from its insectile head. They often roam subterranean passages, and most dwarves would rather face a squad of orcs than confront a single one of these creatures. These strange creatures, normally docile creatures, can corrode some metals.
I'd
Anna,
like to
put
go
you-
last.
Okay, I was going to say Anna go last because she's
I'd like to
had
go
less time
last.
to think about it, but sure. Joe, you seemed fairly confident.
I mean,
after
I'm
speaking
not
to
sure I
you,
would use the
so-
word confident. I had an idea, and then the more I've reread the description, the more I'm like, that doesn't fit the description. But I'll tell my suggestion and maybe explain why. So the thing that popped into my head instantly was an ant keg.
That's what popped into my head too.
Because they're all like armored and carapace, and they're insectile,
Insectile.
whatever. Insectoid. They're insect-like.
Insectical.
Buggy.
Boogie.
I figured that the acid spray, maybe alluding to the fact that they can corrode metal, was one of the things that popped into my head. I possibly put 2 and 2 together and got 10 because I think in the description it was talking about like orcs and that would rather avoid this and blah blah blah. And I've run Dragon Device by a Peak several times, and it's a monster that appears in that, and that's also a campaign where there's loads of orcs all over the place. So I probably could construe the two together unnecessarily.
So what is your current guess then, Joe?
I mean, I can't think of anything else because my knowledge of monsters is tiny. So I'll go with Antkeg as my guess.
That was also
Okay.
going to be my guess.
Is that
Basically,
still
because
currently your guess?
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. So if this were Final Jeopardy, I would write it down, but I would also have wagered like $1. I would not wager very much.
You guys
fair.
will kick yourselves once I tell you what it is. Anna, do you have any off the top of your head? I know you had less time, but any ones that jump to
No,
you?
I don't. My knowledge of monsters is less than 0. I don't
Cool.
have any.
Would you like to describe a monster that fits the description?
No.
Okay. Lee?
I can't
Okay.
even think.
Yeah, so my first train of thought was like you two, Ankeg. And then with the last thing that you said, I changed my mind
Corroding.
to Rust Monster.
And that was the last thing was the biggest clue towards it. So the creature from last podcast was in fact a rust monster. Congratulations! That's
Oh
two
yeah,
for two so far,
two,
mate.
bitch. Yeah.
We need to be keeping track of these scores, I think, and then at the end of it, once a year's passed, we've found out who the winner is.
Okay, well, I mean, it's not a fair fight.
Yeah,
it's
Lee
really-
has
it's
an
fun.
unfair advantage of
You
being
got some
like
homework
the
now,
longest
haven't you?
DM. Yeah.
What? Just start reading the monster manual?
The DM representative, really. But I have a
Well,
new one for this
great
episode.
news is you know that you don't have metagamey players.
That's
so
true.
There's that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this episode's description is
Oh God, I
Driven-
fail already.
okay. Driven by hate, lust, and envy, these fiends are cruel taskmasters of the nine hells. They oversee and order around lesser fiends, taking special delight in seeing those that defy them demoted. They appear as a humanoid husk with dried skin stretched tight across its skeletal frame, and have a foul odor of decay in the air around them.
Oh, I think.
He already knows.
Yeah, I think.
Shut up, Lee.
There's like three. It
Sir,
could
sir,
be.
you forgot to give us our homework.
Don't be jealous.
Stop
Go
being the teacher's pet.
on.
God, you got a little bit of brown on your nose.
I'm fairly certain we fought these in at least
Yeah,
one
I
game.
thought I've heard you talk about them before, but I don't know what they're called.
What's it called to your
Gotcha.
mama?
It's your mama.
Right, all right, fine, whatever.
Well,
We're gonna
you
have
gu-
to
You guys can think on that.
type it up, put it in Word format for me to stare at for
It's
a little bit.
it's in our group chat at the moment, so you can stare at that as long as you like.
Okay, I will be doing that.
Is Lee going to draw us another picture?
No,
I think Lee should. I think Lee should draw a picture for every.
In order for him to get full credit, he has to draw a picture of it.
Yeah, I
With
think
the
Lee has a DM unfair advantage for DM so long. I think Lee has to also
Mhm.
draw the monster.
The advantage of him drawing a picture also means that he can't easily cheat because he keeps saying, "Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is" straight away. He then has to draw a picture on the spot, and there's no hiding when he then comes up with a creature that looks completely different. Nothing
Just
like
gonna
that first one, eh, Lee?
Lee
Yeah,
yeah,
that
average and
first
just
one.
draw a blob that has seemingly maybe a couple of arms and a couple of legs, so whatever the
Yeah.
creature is.
I mean, yeah, you've seen my drawing skills, how on point they are. So
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
like, does
Don't-
this
don't
blob
expect
look
much.
kind of accurate?
yeah.
Mm.
I was
Okay,
looking
well-
for because I writ the answers down, had written them down last time, and I put Ankeg first, and then question mark, and then when it finished off, I wrote Rust Monster underneath. And I was like, it's got to be that one, but I don't know where I've put my paper, so oh well.
We believe you.
fine.
It's fine.
But I
You have
guess
to get on that. Get a Google Doc going, and we can put the scores down
yeah.
for each episode.
I
Win.
mean,
I'll get a
make
prize
the
for
Google
the
Doc,
winner. All right.
but I'm just gonna put Lee and a gold star next to him already.
Yeah, but yeah, it is
No,
unfair
it's fine.
because slightly
The
because
loser
I
is
do
gonna
have-
get a monster manual because clearly they need to do some more research.
Yeah.
I
I
was
already
gonna
have
say,
one. I
Lee-
just don't put my nose in it.
Lee keeps the monster manual in the bathroom to read while he's having a poo. So
Good show. Yeah, good show.
Right, and then there's
maybe I
me.
should read it now.
Who I recently bequeathed my bathroom copy of the dictionary to my oldest because I used to keep a copy of the dictionary and a thesaurus in my bathroom for light reading material.
Yeah, while you were there, what is this movement I'm expressing down below? Let me just check think through what
Yeah,
what
let
describes
me
this
see what
better.
alternate words for heavy load.
Listen, okay. There's a reason why I'm the one who edits all of the written text that we put out, and it's because of my bathroom copies of the thesaurus and the dictionary. So
It's a good show. I need to get myself a bathroom thesaurus and dictionary. I got a couple of science mags in there, and that's all that's sitting in there at the moment.
Science mag.
Science mags. Yeah.
Max
It's just science,
Quotation
isn't it?
marks.
Leave it alone. Science.
Biology, is it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Human,
just studying
human
up on
body,
the human body, it's fine.
human anatomy, innit? So
Yeah.
gotta know in case something goes wrong.
Anyway. Anna, have you ever played a warlock?
No.
She won't.
Does
if
Lee
she-
hate you for it?
No, she won't. I know she won't play one.
Why?
if I'm DMing, because I know you won't.
Why?
Play one and you'll
You have
find
to-
out why.
It's
that
too
fair?
dark
Would
for
you?
me.
Would
I
you
don't know, I
trust
mean,
him
take it
as
if
your
you want.
You could
patron?
play a unicorn rainbow warlock like Chet's doing in My Monday
Yeah,
game.
they don't have to be evil.
Yeah, but
I mean-
you would throw something out there to like
I would
skew
never.
the
I
morals.
would.
Yeah, okay.
I am
All right.
such a gentle DM.
Pause. Sure, he is. So Anna, if you were to
Mhm.
play a warlock, I mean, obviously you've heard the phrase "I cast Eldritch Blast" more than the rest of us, right?
Yep.
Except for the person who is guilty of saying said phrase all the time.
Mhm.
If you were to play a warlock, how would you flavor your Eldritch Blast?
So normally it just looks like a bolt of force that comes from your hand.
Hey,
and shoots
sir,
across.
sit
I'm
down.
just giving. Yeah, I'm just giving her.
Put
Stop
your
mansplaining,
warlock
Lee.
hat
No,
away.
She
he
needs.
knows because I was getting up Google to like look up exactly what Eldritch Blast
What
is, so then I
Eldritch
can.
See,
Blast is. It doesn't
I
matter.
know my wife.
You blast.
I panic.
I got you. See,
I
got you.
panic that I'm not thinking of the right thing. I'm still gonna get it up. Just give me 2
Yeah.
seconds.
All right. Well, you think
should
about
read
it.
the descriptions of the spells, Kristen. Like the
I
what's
should.
the core
Okay.
description? There you go.
All right. Fine. I will look up Eldritch Blast real quickly.
So I started blast.
Didn't ask any questions. Just blast.
Eldritch Blast is defined as a beam of crackling energy streaking toward a creature within range. All right. So you can, at basic levels, cast one beam, and as you get higher, you can cast multiple beams. I think it's up to 4 beams.
Yeah, 4,
Uh,
5, 11, and I can't remember what the other one is. 'Cause I don't think we've got
Visually, it's kind
17.
of like a dark magic missile.
edgy
Um,
magic missile.
Emo with magic missile.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool to come out of the eyes. I don't know why,
Mm.
Superman style.
Yeah, it's like beams.
but like a dark like energy because, well, I suppose when I think of a warlock, I just think of like.
But they're not.
Just
They
gotta
don't
hope they're
have
not
to
cross-eyed.
I
be.
know,
They're not all, not all.
It
but I've
depends on
heard
the
your
warlock, though.
backstories, Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, look at Katie's warlock that she's playing as well. That sweet
We haven't
little child.
gotten into the depths
Mm.
of Clover yet. I'm
Yeah, I
sure
feel
that
like
there
there's a
is
lot
more
more.
to Clover than innocent. I'm walking around with my teddy
Yeah,
bear. it's
she
fine."
definitely eats people's faces. That's
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And the teddy bear is definitely a patron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way that teddy bear isn't, is it?
All right, so immediately, especially after Jason was talking about the unicorn, sparkly, friendly patron, is I was thinking that you could just reach into your pocket and pull out glitter and blow it at
Cool.
people, and it would be this glittery beam. But also, like, think about glitter. I love glitter. I used to.
Fucking mess.
I'm gonna tell you all something. I used to walk down like the Hallmark aisle and get cards and find glittery ones and rub them on my face. Also scratching my face because that shit hurt, but like just to get the glitter on my face. So I
You're
love
like,
glitter.
Oh no, I'm covered in glitter again. Oh.
This happened. Then when they
The
started
staff
making
in the
glitter
Walmart are
makeup,
just like
and I was
great in
old
your
enough
face.
to buy, and I was old enough to buy glitter makeup. That is a much smarter, more practical choice. But
Oh, I didn't realize
um,
this was when you were a child.
Yeah, I thought
I
this was
mean-
like
it was also 3 weeks ago. It's fine. But then people as an adult
Old
look at me a
habits
little
die hard.
differently when I'm rubbing cards on my face. But right, not that long ago, we had to take my niece to the eye doctor because she had a piece of glitter embedded in her eye. So glitter can also like
Oh.
not.
But it
Mm.
can kill.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that the visual of just this jet stream of glitter messing up your day, but it's also really pretty.
just a
It's
little sad note
fantastic.
on like a fun glitter fact. Do you know who is the biggest purchaser of glitter in the world?
Taylor
Kristen.
Swift.
Not me.
Taylor Swift. No,
I'm
it's
like
not- yeah.
second.
It is the American military.
Why?
Really?
Oh.
Why? Any
They use
reason?
it in anti-missiles or something like that.
Oh, yeah, would make sense.
Yeah, which I
But
thought
I
was
don't know.
because everyone was like, there's a whole thing on social media of like, where's all the glitter going? Why are you running out of glitter?
Whistle the
the,
glitter going.
the American
Where has
big
military
cry
are
about
buying
it.
all the glitter. So,
There's a big uproar in America. Where's all that glitter
we
gone?
got no
We wanna-
glitter.
You know what? That sounds like a very
It's
serious
Kristen.
problem.
It's Kristen. Kristen's getting
I
it.
mean, I told you I was the second largest purchaser of glitter, not
Yeah,
the first.
a glitter drought.
Yeah, I think the military are just keeping it in reserve for when Kristen loses it and the whole
Probably.
world starts burning. She's on a rampage with glitter.
Listen. I don't know, my daughter's room, I painted purple glitter. Like there's glitter on the walls.
Oh, no.
It's amazing. You're welcome. Okay, let's Joe, you played a warlock once, right? Tutzel. Tutzel. Have you? I don't remember specifically how they flavored Eldritch Blast, but give me a way to flavor Eldritch Blast.
Do you know, I don't think I ever did
I'm not
flavour
sure you
Eldritch
did.
Blast for him.
I think
You just
he
cast
took it
it.
as standard.
He was one of my very first characters, and I very boringly said, cast Eldritch Blast. Done.
Yes.
I feel like, however, given his very early acquisitions, his would have to be coffee related. He was taken on a wonderful adventure by Kristen for a Halloween one shot where about pumpkin spice lattes.
Mhm.
And at the end of it, he got the basic bitch cup that
Yes.
refilled itself with coffee all the time. So
Draws it out of the cup like a waterbender.
yeah, it's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, takes a sip of coffee and then just draws it out and flings it forward, scorching hot, fresh coffee every time. Yeah.
I have never been so happy in my whole life, except for rubbing glitter on my face. Jason.
I love the flavor that allows as well for when it misses, because you've described, Jason, before that, like, taking the pressure off the player when they miss things, because it's either the enemy they're attacking like raises a shield and blocks or what have you, but the idea of that being like hot coffee drawn out of a cup. Oh yeah, it's just that bit too far, and a gust of wind made the coffee
Or they just like
cool
eat it.
down too
It
much.
just goes
or-
into the mouth. And,
yeah, it's
so-
an abomination that just
Oops,
swallows
you-
it. Or
You got a mouthful of foam instead.
Ugh.
Jason, what about you?
So I'm thinking that I gotta kind of have the character concept first. So I'm thinking like this warlock is kind of feminine and uses like these disc blades and has like an Egyptian god patron kind of style, kind of like a NASA sort of renecting type god.
Mhm.
And as they swing these rounded blades that they hold on to, like dual wielding, like energy discs shoot out of them, and it'll be the Eldritch Blasts. That would be a cool idea. Little concept for somebody. Yeah, free
Nice,
character
like-
idea. You can take that.
You can have that. You can have that one.
Lee, so of your multitude of warlocks, what has been your favorite way to flavor Eldritch Blast? Or is there something else that immediately
I don't
came to
know,
your
but
brain?
I thought of one probably because I'm looking at my my stupid picture that I've got the border on Discord, and it's just sort of. I was thinking,
No.
I was thinking, that he not clowns
Honks his
necessarily,
nose.
but
throws that
he
out.
throws up, right?
Ew.
Stuffs his mouth full of candy too much, throws up, but it comes out as rainbows.
I do not feel well.
Well,
Is it Nyan Cat?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. He throws up.
yeah, it throws up
don't-
his Eldritch Blast, and it comes
Projectile
out as a
rainbow
little
blast.
rainbow.
No. I don't like
Rainbow
it.
vomit. I mean, what could go wrong
No.
with that? That's pretty
Alright.
cute.
Okay. New topic. Oh my gosh.
I feel like it's just like a really dark, horrible green with glitter in it.
Yeah.
Stop.
What could happen at the end of it rather than the actual rainbow
A
hurt?
little leprechaun comes out and punches them.
Fucking just a big pot of gold just lands on him.
Wow.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think on that wonderful note, it might be time to say goodbye.
I think so. I have to excuse myself. Ooh.
Yeah,
Rainbow
ruined the
vomit.
vibe completely.
Kristen's
there.
gonna go and
There
sit in
you
Esme's room and just surround herself in glitter now. To make it
Rub her
simple.
face on the walls.
Just don't eat it, or you might be reenacting what he's.
Yeah, don't be licking the walls.
Okay, well, you know what? There goes my day. My plan.
What, eating glitter?
Just licking the walls.
Just look at the walls. Yeah, have fun with
Tastes like purple.
that.
Tastes like rainbows.
Oh, I love to hate it. Thanks all of you for having a chat with us again. It was great fun. Anna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
Yay,
having me.
Anna.
It was really nice to have another person to
It wasn't
chat to
as
and get some
nerve-wracking as I
opinions
thought it was once
Good.
it started.
Yeah, we're pretty chill.
on. It is just a
you can
conversation.
stop holding the
between
knife
friends.
to her now, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, take the handcuffs away from the chair. Um,
I'll let you out
Yeah.
soon. Don't worry.
Well, hopefully some of you in the audience managed to guess the monster description more successfully than Kristen and I did. We need some help maybe beating Lee. So if any of you listen to this and want to give us some tips, get in touch and give us your guesses in the description.
I'll take the lot you want.
If there's any games that any of you have run, any alternative sort of D&D based or themed games that you've run with popular books or TV shows, or if there's any that you want to run, let us know. That would be cool to hear as well. But otherwise, have the best week, and we'll see you next time. And Anna, if you can't be cool, what should you be?
Be wicked.
Be wicked.
That's
See you next
right.
time, guys.
Boy!
Wherever you found us today, don't forget to like and subscribe for more great content. And if you want to find out more about what we do, how to support us, pick up some merch and find links to our friends like JB Media, visit us at wickedcoolkids.co.uk.
Whoa.
Well, I'm not on the table.
The aggression.
Right, cool. Okay.
What if I take my pants off?
What if? Nobody will know until you stand up.
On the table.